of Governors for the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association, has sat down once again to discuss its transgender participation policy. Despite issuing a statement backing transgender players last April and re-upping its commitment to them in August by refusing to host championships in places that discriminate against this group, despite all that, the NCAA and specifically the sport of swimming have been plunged into controversy over this issue because of Lia Thomas, a senior at the University of Pennsylvania who broke 2 national records in the pool last month. Lia spent 3 years swimming for the men's team and has now made her transition following NCAA protocols. Here to talk about what some say is just an unfair situation is Samuel Garrett Pate with Equality California. Welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Parents of a Penn swimmer on the women's team with Lia recently told Fox News, quote, "It starts with the NCAA. I think the NCAA needs to change its policies and find a way to include transgender women without trampling all over biological women," unquote. What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Well, for one, that's the same type of rhetoric that anti-LGBTQ and specifically anti-trans activists all across this country, extremists who have enacted some of the most discriminatory laws in this country, it's the same rhetoric they're using. I understand everyone wants college athletics to be fair. But in order to be fair, that means we shouldn't be discriminating against trans athletes when there's absolutely no rationale to do so. This swimmer, Lia Thomas, followed every single one of the NCAA's protocols and participated fairly in a competition. No trans athlete wants some sort of unfair advantage. They just want to play. And it's really, disheartening to hear folks come out and attack trans athletes like the way the quote you just shared.
Now, as you just mentioned, Lia has done everything right, meeting or exceeding all of the NCAA's rules for transitioning and being able to compete on a women's team, including 2 years worth of testosterone suppression treatment. Just yesterday, Caitlyn Jenner, who transitioned away from her former Olympic champion self of Bruce Jenner, spoke out about this, saying that for someone like Lia to compete against biological women, that it wasn't right because having been male, she has greater lung capacity, which would help you in the pool, bigger hands, which would help you slice through the water better. Do these points hold any water?
I want to push back quickly. First of all, I will say that Caitlyn Jenner is no champion for the trans community and has actively worked against the trans community, specifically trans athletes. So, she does not speak for the trans community. She does not speak for the LGBTQ plus community. I also want to push back on the use of this term biological women. There is no reason that women who are not transgender are in any way more biologically women than trans women. Gender is a social construct and sex is a spectrum. And I know that can be hard for people to understand, but no two people are identically the same. And so a lot of this is about making sure that people are on an even playing field, which the NCAA's previous protocols did for someone like Lia. What we saw last night was the NCAA come out with a whole new set of policies that they adopted overnight without seemingly a robust process for input to make sure that these new policies are fair. Okay. So the old policies that Lia Thomas was following were developed over years with lots of input from not just the trans community, but athletic directors around the country and other experts to make sure that those policies were fair for both trans athletes and athletes who aren't trans. These new policies seem to have been enacted overnight without that same sort of input.
Okay, let's go over that. It appears that the NCAA has punted on this issue, stepping away from what you were talking about, its usual role of having a policy that's uniform across all sports and was based on hormone replacement therapy to, as of right now, according to ESPN, allowing the national governing body for each sport determine eligibility requirements for transgender athletes. What do you think the pitfalls of this change might be?
Well, I think, again, in order to come up with a policy that is fair for all athletes, right? Which is the goal of the LGBTQ plus community, of trans athletes everywhere, is to have policies that are fair to everyone. In order to do that, you need a robust process to gather community input, to hear from experts in athletics, hear from medical experts, hear from psychological experts, to just rush into a policy based on, my understanding is based on the International Olympic Committee and their policy, without understanding or acknowledging that Olympic athletes and college athletes in this country don't necessarily need to be put through the exact same protocols. It just seems misguided, and it seems that the NCAA is reacting to pressure from anti-trans extremists rather than seeking to put in place policies that are fair to all athletes, which is certainly our goal.
Well, some might say that by following the Olympic standard, the NCAA is following an international standard, holding to a higher standard than what was previously in place for college athletes. But definitely it's a situation and a topic that there's going to be a lot more discussion about. Thank you so much for coming in to discuss these latest developments with us.
Thank you.